So I just downloaded DeepSeek V4-Flash onto my Mac Studio and I'm absolutely loving it. This model competes with the intelligence of models from Claude and GPT from within the last 6 months. So it's as smart as those models, while also being small enough to fit and run on local hardware that you have running at home. So looking at the Frontier Language Model Intelligence Index, this covers 9 different evaluations, including agentic coding, agentic task work, and agentic knowledge work. So if we look over here, we have July 31st, 2026, DeepSeek V4-Flash-0731 scores 52 on this index. Scanning to the left, we have March 5, 2026, GPT 5.4 scores 53, and a month before, Feb 17, 2026, Claude Sonnet 4.6 scores 48 on this index. So with DeepSeek V4-Flash, we literally have frontier intelligence that we can run on our own devices. And when it comes to benchmarks, I always take this with a grain of salt because I've had the experience before where a model comes out, then it gets benchmarked against a bunch of different models, sometimes 10 times their size, and then the performance is meant to be as good or better than those models, which is always like too good to be true. But hey, I get excited, I download it and I test it, and then I get disappointed. But with DeepSeek V4-Flash, I'm not actually disappointed. And to try and show you why I'm so impressed with this model, I'm going to take DeepSeek, I'm going to plug it into a pi.dev agent harness, so it's a very lightweight harness, and then I'm going to point it at 3 different practical tasks that I have to do on a daily and a weekly basis, and see if it can just automate those tasks for me. So in this video, I've got 3 different tests, a ClickUp test, an N8N test, and then a reporting test. So we're going to get to that in just a second. But before we do, I'm just going to go over the technical details of exactly which model I'm running, what my hardware is, what speeds I'm getting, and then tell you about a different way that people are also running this model at home. Hey guys, so the sponsor of today's video is me. If you're a business owner or if you're a professional that works behind a computer and you want to get one-on-one coaching, team coaching, or have me build out agents for you, please contact me at the link below. Thank you. So I'm running the Vontra, the provider Vontra, DeepSeek V4-Flash-0731. It's the 4-bit MLX, and this is meant to be a like-for-like conversion of the DeepSeek model into the MLX format. Now, this provider actually has the same unit that I have. I've got the Mac Studio M3 Ultra, but instead of 256 gigs, I've actually got the 512 gig model. But this just goes to show that you can run the DeepSeek V4-Flash on a 256 gig device. The only thing that I'm not sure about is because DeepSeek V4-Flash has got a 1 million token context window, which is pretty much like 4 times the size of all other open models. If the model weights themselves are 167 gig, you've only really got like 100 gigs or just like 90 gigs to play with for the 1 million token context, and you might not be able to get that full context on this device. Whereas I probably will be able to get that on my 512 gig device. And in terms of speed, I'm actually getting very similar to this. So with MTP enabled, multi-token prediction enabled, we're getting 41.7 tokens per second at 23K context window, versus if you have speculation off, which is exactly what I got as well, 26.1 tokens as well. So there is a massive increase in speed when you put the MTP on. And then the final thing that I want to look at is just how else can you run this at home? Because right now you cannot even buy the 256 gig Mac Studio or the 512 from Apple. You have to be lucky to find it on a secondhand market somewhere. And even then it's a little bit risky to buy these units. But you can also run this on 2 DGX Sparks. I think the DGX Spark is like just under $5,000. So for 10K USD, you can run this model at home for a reported 72 tokens per second. So for our test today, I'm going to be running DeepSeek inside the pi.dev agent harness, and I'll be using Visual Studio Code as my coding editor. And to do that, I'm just going to open up our test workspace. So desktop tests, and let's just open this up. And we'll just launch Pi again over here. And I'm just going to get it to start working on the very first test, which is going to be N8N. Hey, can you please read the N8N test MD file and then complete the task inside it? So let's send this, and let's actually check out what that MD file has. I'm just going to bring this down. Then over here, I've given our DeepSeek model access to my N8N account. Let's just quickly check the workflow, by the way. This is the workflow. It's a webhook, a HTTP request with literally nothing inside it, and then a respond to webhook node. And in our webhook over here, we have respond immediately, so it's not even responding with the right node. I've just plunked down 3 nodes onto a canvas and then given it to DeepSeek. So then if we come back into our N8N test case, as you can see, that workflow's got 3 nodes. They're all bare bones and they're not really configured correctly. So I'm telling DeepSeek to go into that workflow, diagnose and fix the issues. And I'm explaining that I want the workflow to be able to receive a question via the webhook, to then web search that via the HTTP node, and then get the response and send it back in that respond to webhook node. And while it's there, it can make the workflow production ready so we can run it in the wild, which might include things like retries and webhook security. And then the rest of the stuff here, I'm just giving it access to that N8N environment, saying here's the workflow, here's the API keys that you need. Please go off and make this workflow work. And it looks like DeepSeek is nearly finished, so the workflow is now working end-to-end. It returns the full Brave search result for best coffee in Tokyo. Let me verify the execution status is successful and confirm the workflow state. So there was actually quite a bit of work done over here. And just to speed through and let you know what happened, when we gave the question to DeepSeek, basically, this is a pretty hard question because first it has to get the API key and go into the workflow and inspect the nodes. It then has to understand how the structure of each node and what settings have to be applied and configured. It then has to install the HTTP node and test that it works. And then it has to make its own API call from the terminal from here into the N8N webhook and then test it end to end to make sure that it's receiving the correct response. So there was quite a bit of work that was done here. Lots of tool calls, lots of iterations. Somewhere along the route, it basically ran into like rate limiting errors from our Brave web search. I'm using the free tier, so it got a little bit confused with that, but then basically was able to overcome that and understand that it was just a limitation from my account. And looks like we've finished the work, so I completed the task. The N8N workflow had 2 blocking problems, so I diagnosed the issue. It was able to apply a bunch of fixes, so it actually got us working with the HTTP node for the Brave web search. It created some headers, and also maybe it did some, retry on fail as well, and a bunch of different things. And then here's the tests that it ran. So let's go back into N8N and let's just refresh this page. Okay, it looks like it's same nodes as before, but now we have header authentication and webhook authentication enabled, and we're responding using the respond to webhook node, which is good because if we just had respond immediately, we wouldn't actually respond after the response was generated. And then we have the get, we have the URL for our web search, we have the search query, and then our API key and basically all the configuration for this HTTP node. And then we have respond with all incoming items, which in my opinion, I don't think is correct unless it's maybe we've got a parser somewhere on our side that basically just parses out for the response. But this fix will be very easy as well. We'd be able to parse out the response from the HTTP node. We can just ask DeepSeek to do that too. But I would say at this stage that the job is done. The workflow was built, our conditions were met, and the tests were completed. And now for our next test, I'm just going to open up another Pi session. So let's go Pi. So now I've got a new DeepSeek loaded. Let me just start it off and say, hey, can you please read the reporting test MD file and then complete the tasks? Let's send this in, and now let's actually check out the reporting test MD file. So the instructions here, read the attached Excel sheet, which is here. We'll open that in a second. Produce the results or do the work that you think needs to be done. So this is written clearly not by ChatGPT. This is written by me, and it's purposely vague-ish because I don't want to give too much clear instructions. DeepSeek, from what I've seen, again, is very proactive. It just wants to do the work. So very basic instructions, and then over here, explore the environment in case there's anything else that you might think you need in order to complete this. So if you need to install skills, like to be able to work with an Excel file or to read documents or whatever you think needs to be done, just do it. And inside this Excel file, let's just open it up. So here we have 3 different tabs. We've got stock on hand of a bunch of different products. We've got sales history for the last 30 days. So like day by day sales for each product. And then a bunch of reordering rules. So within this, I say, look at the last 30 days of sales, look at the current stock on hand, and then also consider our future marketing events that we have. So like there's another file here called marketing events that has different promotions that we're running and the expected units we plan to sell for those periods of times. So now this is a multi-part decision process where we have to consider stock on hand, sales history, and planned sales based on promotions. And then looking at the marketing campaign that we have scheduled, a bunch of different campaigns for different dates and different products that are impacted with a different uplift based on previous sales volume. So this is interesting. Let's see how well it works with this information. And coming back to DeepSeek, looks like it's completed the work. Read the reporting test MD file, which asked to analyze an Excel sheet and do whatever work was needed. So I discovered the related file, inventory demo Excel, and then also the marketing events document, which again was a separate file in the same workspace. Installed 3 different packages in order to read the files, read the resources, and completed the work. So let me just copy this, and I'm going to go to my Claude session that I actually used to generate this test case and just confirm if it actually is correct. Is this correct for the initial inventory demo advanced Excel task that we had? And it looks like Claude is telling me that it was all correct, and just that some of the suggested values were a little bit under what needed to be ordered, but in general were correct as well. So that is awesome. And it looks like updated the Excel file as well. So let's just reopen that. And we have, okay, a new tab over here, reorder recommendations, which looks to be like the exact same recommendations that we had delivered in the chat. And I would say this is another win. So, being able to identify the different file types that you have to work with, install additional dependencies, or in some cases, maybe it's like skills in order to work with those files, and then perform a multi-part analysis looking at 3 different bits of information against what our policies are for reordering. So yeah, this is another win. And then for our final example, which is going to be a little bit more difficult now, just going to boot up another Pi session. Hey, can you please read the ClickUp test MD file and complete the work? So let's send that, and let's open up the ClickUp test MD file. Now, this is my favorite test that we're doing here, and that's because we're given Pi access to a ClickUp workspace, which is a test workspace, and the workspace is going to contain a couple of different tasks inside it. Some are completed, some are still active, and the job to be done is go into that ClickUp workspace, audit the workspace, review any tasks that are solved and open, and try find an opportunity for any repeatable, automatable work. And if there's any open tasks that you can, then complete with this, analysis that you've done, please complete that task as well. So going into the ClickUp workspace, so we're over here. So we have our test workspace just for DeepSeek. We've got our automation space, and we've got a list over here. We actually have 3 tasks in here. Let me try and open up the closed view as well. So we have task 1 and task 2 are closed. And if I just open this up, there's an attachment inside here, which is similar to like the stock on hand Excel sheet, but the simpler process of just checking what has to be reordered. And it looks like when a task is created, there's an Excel file, and we say which product has to be reordered from that Excel file. So task 1, then we have task 2, and the Excel file now is attached differently. So before it was in the description, but ultimately all tasks are attached in the attachment section, all files, sorry. So task 2 as well. So let's just see if we can open this. And it's a very basic preview. So product A, here's the rule, here's our stock on hand, and then here's some sales history for 30 days. So again, very basic, but we're just testing out, like now it's like identifying automatable, repeatable processes. And once again, we have the Excel file and we say reorder product B. So for this task 3, same thing, we have an Excel file here. So let's see if it gets it right as well. And then, yeah, I gave it access to this space, just gave it the link. So it goes into the automation space directly. And I gave it access to an API key so it can actually go in and explore. And it looks like DeepSeek is doing a really good audit. So after it read the MD file with the instructions for ClickUp, it went into the ClickUp space. It found the workspace ID and the list ID from the link that I gave it. And it was able to see that there's only 1 task currently active, but it should actually also search for completed tasks as well. So going down a little bit further, the completed tasks, task 1 and task 2 have empty descriptions, no comments, no checklists. And this is interesting because as we saw before, there was no descriptions and no instructions. We just had an Excel file and then a comment saying what to reorder. So DeepSeek now has to infer actually what the process is. And then let's see if it infers the correct process. But from here we have, it's going through the files, the Excel files, and it's understanding that there was comments left and how those comments relate to the Excel files. And then doing a bunch of thinking to just try and understand what the process could be. It's over here considering what the intended workflow, what it maybe is, which is awesome. And it looks like here it's actually complete. So what I found in the ClickUp space was 2 completed tasks and then 1 yet to be completed task. And over here, we have the repeatable skill was created in this location. So in the Pi folder, we have the skills and inventory reorder skill with an MD file as well. That explains, okay, how to go through, what to do, and then the API request to actually be able to interact with our ClickUp workspace and apply this skill to the remaining open task. Okay, so let's actually check out what it did. Task 3, reorder product C, stock is average, reorder, monitor. Okay, interesting. So I'm just going to copy this and let me just confirm it's correct. And for our task 3 test, is this correct? Okay, so it looks like this part is correct because we do need to reorder product C, but I think that DeepSeek went into the rest of the workspace and saw our marketing events calendar and then applied some of those findings into this task as well. Because if I come to this final note, it says there's several more items that we need to reorder that didn't have ClickUp tasks. So I probably should have segmented our test workspace a little bit better, because I think it went into the inventory demo and marketing events because it saw we're dealing with stock in those files and also dealing with stock in the ClickUp task. And it's actually been ultra proactive here and said, hey, we need to reorder more products because we have some more products here that have to be reordered as well. So I would say this is another win and actually went above and beyond the test. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see me doing more real-life practical tests like this, or running this test on other models like a Gemma or the new Quen model that's going to be coming out, please let me know in the comments below and I'll work on a video as well. All right, see you in the next one.